everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the world. I am Paul Sisler. I am the host of In the Moment. Today, we have a special guest, Shadowfox, an artisan of the spirit. The title of this segment is The Flow. And I met Shadowfox a while back on Twitter Spaces, and she's been a mentor, an inspirational guide. She is just one of the most wonderful people that you're ever going to know. So, with that said, hello, Shadowfox. How are you today?
Oh, I am absolutely awesome. Hello, everyone. Oh, what a beautiful day.
Yes, yes, it is. It is. So, if you could tell me a little bit about yourself and what started you on this journey.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I was ready for this question until just this moment. But no, actually, uh, many people have asked, what is it? Who are you? What do you do? What can you offer? This journey for me began really in childhood. I had had two near death experiences by the age of 6. And with that, I never saw the world the way everyone else does, I guess. Everything was energy to me, everything was patterning. And so I had to learn to understand what this energy was and our influence, how it influences us, how it impacts us. Um, I mean, we eat food, right? And so there's an exchange of energy when the nutrients are broken down. We exchange energy when we smile at someone or, share a loving moment or just sit in silence with each other and just comfort each other in any capacity. That is an exchange of energy. And when I was younger, I really noticed, people were always praying and asking for things, and it didn't always come out the way they had intended. And that was where my major search was. Why? Why? Is there something we're asking for? Or is it the way we're asking? Is it the way we're praying? All of these things. So that really started my journey. And in order to understand that, I had to learn to understand me. And so it was the conscious awareness. It was stepping into that journey of spirituality, which is not religion specifically. There's a difference. And that's really where it began. I was a child medium, when we talk about, like whether it be astral projection or anything like that, it was like, yeah, vivid dreams. That was my life. I thought everybody did it.
Yes, yes. I dream. I dream.
Mhm,
Um, Through our conversations, we've talked on Twitter Spaces, and just
mhm.
so everyone knows, um, Shadowfox and I both we have a very close friendship and all that. We call and talk to each other, and ask each other advice and stuff like that. During one of our conversations, I think it was one of our first conversations, you told me about a book that you were writing and how much it's like mine, where mine is political law and
Mhm.
yours is spiritual law. So tell me a
Mhm.
little bit about your book that you're still writing, correct?
Yes, it's pretty much finished. We're looking to have it published now. The title, as of right now, it is Spiritual Logic Behind the Power of Words and Beliefs. And in actuality, it is a condensation of what energy is and how it resonates. And our words, our thoughts, our beliefs all resonate. But are they in union? Are they in harmony? Are they in the flow? And so there's just little things that we point out within that structure um, to bring about a little bit of change. My major impetus going forward on my own journey of the reason why I am here is that I truly have a message, and it's to share this message with whoever chooses to listen. And it can help impact people in their lives. It's removing um, the discordant energy, and stop the friction pretty much. So that's, what the book is about. It goes in, it's kind of like a manual, but it's not. It can be utilized for self development. It can be utilized in many capacities because every single person will take away something different than someone else. And what I'd like to, point out is that, and yes, I have read Paul's book, The Red Herring Effect. It is an awesome book. What I loved about it is that he offers solutions, and it is within neutral territory. And when he expresses certain things about the laws of our government or even our Constitution, our book, my husband's and mine, because we're co-authors. I'm a co-author with him. It does the exact same thing. It brings light to issues that we ourselves can imprison ourselves in, whether it be our thoughts or how we're saying something or speaking something, utilizing speech to create. So, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch to it, but in a nutshell, I would probably be a lot more precise and concise. Bringing it forward just, in a back page or something. But I really thought it would be nice to be able to hear um, our intent with the book moving forward, because both of our books are very similar in its delivery.
Yes, yes. Uh, Cornelia is here today with us. Hello,
Yes.
Cornelia.
Hi.
Beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
And I
Uh,
just like to put out, if any, people they're coming in and they're listening, whether it be on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitter Spaces, hi everyone, hi. I'm just really excited for the opportunity, really.
oh, beautiful, beautiful. What inspired you to write the book? What was the actual inspiration? Because for me, I know everybody has the ability to write within them. Everybody has that ability, and it takes an inspiration. And for me, it was about the way I saw government going, and I
Hmm.
wanted to put my 2 cents in there and get it out there. And sometimes people get inspired in a multitude of ways, because like now I'm also writing fiction books, so I've been inspired again due to the loss of my wife. So there's a multitude of inspirations. So what inspired you to write this book?
Um, Actually, I was inspired in two particular ways. One was because this is part of my journey. I mean, this is my part of my destiny. I have a message. This is a part of it. But it was really my guides. Just saying, hey, sit down. This is what has to be touched on and go for it. And quite honestly, in the book, there is one particular section that was given to me by my guides, word for what they said to write. And it had to do about healing. So therefore, it is word for word. And I had to qualify, us and them, we or you,
Yeah,
because it is not directed at any person, but as an embodiment of humanity. And so that had to be, the little precursor to it. But yeah, no, it was definitely, as we were writing, I mean, it was, yeah, I was just in tune, and I knew where it was going. I definitely had in the book, different, as each segment goes through each chapter, it builds upon the previous information because there's teachings within it. Many, and again, and I speak about that many times. There's, you learn something, right? You just, this is the way I learned it, and so this is the way it is. And I'm trying to, let's just say we to overcome that a little bit, because nobody likes to relearn something, and not
Right.
saying that anything we've learned is incorrect, but it still has to form a singularity of where it vibrates. Is it something that you recognize or not? And so therefore it kind of like, is it triggering a belief system? Is there an emotional component to something that you learned? So these are all instruments that we actually get to utilize when we are new information comes forward. Sometimes you got to sit back and go, hey, wait a second, what are they talking about? So
Yeah.
these are the mechanisms of us being able to take a look at ourselves and say, wait a minute, could this be blocking me? Could this be creating harm in my life and I'm not even aware of it? I mean, Paul, if you had a business, right? And you were, you're looking like being in the black and not in the red. And all of a sudden somebody says to you, hey, you know what? I have an idea. Have you ever thought of this? And then it was like, they're not saying you're doing everything incorrect. It's just a slight little, just a little tweak over here, a
Correct.
little slight different perception change. And then
Right.
guess what? Now you're in the black. But, nobody likes to hear it, right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Now,
because we learned it a particular way, you
yep.
know.
Yep. Now, I know we had a set line of questions that I was going to ask
Uh-huh.
you, but I'm going to go a little off script here because
Okay.
of something that you already said. Um, Spirituality
Mhm.
v. religion. Now,
Oh, yeah.
I myself, I'm an atheist.
Mhm.
And when people hear atheist, they automatically assume I don't believe in anything. And they don't know what atheism is. There's a multitude of forms, just like there's a multitude of forms of Christianity. There's a multitude of Islamic beliefs, all from the Abrahamic uh, books, basically.
Right. Mhm.
And I myself, I don't believe in any creator of all things, all knowing, all powerful gods. Okay, I don't believe in that, but I do believe that there is more out there. So I'm what you would call a spiritual atheist. I don't believe in gods, but I do believe in energy. And I believe there's energy out there that has thought that may or may not guide us in the right ways, may or may not direct us in the right ways. So um, the reason why I ask about religion versus spirituality, when I was younger, I was a Presbyterian. I've been a Pentecostal. I've been a Lutheran. I've been a Baptist. I've been a Mormon. I've been a Jehovah's Witness. I've been a Buddhist. I've been a Muslim. I have been a Hinduist, a Taoist, a Taoist, a Confucianist. I have read so many different forms of religions and philosophies.
Mhm.
And I'm turned away by the hatred that I read in it. But I do like some of the good morals that are in there, like
Mhm.
golden rule: do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Mhm.
Love thy neighbor. You know, so there's some good teachings, but I don't see religion as a healthy aspect unless there is spirituality with it. I see spirituality as being the healthy line of mode. So, what are your views on religion versus spirituality?
Okay. I think, well, this is where we're very similar in technically moving forward for what you were saying. There might be a slight variation for me, because let's just say religion in and of itself, overall, religion period, okay, it follows a business plan, it follows a structure. Okay, this is the doctrine, this is what we're going to believe, this is how we move forward, or this is how we are to live our lives based upon these principles. with spirituality, it's like the religion carries mapping. Okay, here's the map from A to B, A to Z. With spirituality, it's open. It's like here, there, with spirituality, it is your own specific experiences. It's based, and in spirituality, it's like, I can't say that there's been many people that have, taken this path, and they have found that within this path that there is creativity, there is compassion, is love, no different than what could be found in religion or faith. However, it's not a direct path that someone else has taken, because I can be very spiritual and you can be very spiritual, but yet your path is leading you one way and my path is leading me another way. But at the same time, we're moving in the same forward motion of direction. So it is that part of evolution on our spiritual selves. It's knowing ourselves. It's our I am presence. And religions, for the most part, I'm not going to say all religions, but some religions were, it's that separation.
Mhm.
God is the most powerful, and hey, you got to have a mediator. Well, I'm sorry,
Right.
I don't require a mediator,
Right.
Um, and so that's where the difference is. But that part is a dogma. It is a theology, and with spirituality, it is truly the experience, and it's not based on someone else's human logic and thought form.
Right.
So
Um,
that's where the difference is, because for me, Paul, if you were to ask me, well, what does, God or creator or architect
mhm.
or omnipresence mean to you?
Right.
Um, I would have to reply in essence of creator or the architect. I do believe there is a format, simply because I understand the energy of cosmic laws. Um, so to me, all energy of laws, cosmic, universal, spiritual, and natural law, is creator, is God.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like he's in everything. He's in our thoughts, he's in our breath, he's in the plants, he's in the food we eat. He is in this exchange right now that we're speaking of, or she is. Um, so, Mother, Father, God, again, everyone has their own
Right.
way of being able to interact with that. And that's what spirituality is, where religion would say, oh no, it's one and it's
Right.
male.
Yes. Yes.
So,
One of our people in the comment section has a question. Cornelia
okay.
Blackmore. She says, I believe religion is a gateway or stepping stone towards spirituality. What do you guys think?
I think, yes, I think it could definitely be used that way. There are many, many people. I'm not going to bash religion, specifically at all, because there have been many times there's people have been, have found something of substance and have been able to change their life, or formulated and says, hey, wait a minute, and then sent them in different directions. But, they will, they have the option, they have the choice, whether they decide to study fully what those dogmas and theologies are and how it resonates with them. And then they can always choose, like you did, Paul,
Yep.
recognizing and reading another. See, I as a child, I had this beautiful experience, because not only was I raised with some very indigenous traditions and philosophies, and creators in the trees. Okay, um, so moving forward with that, I was brought up Roman Catholic. Okay, so I had that introduction. I also had the introduction to ancient Chinese. philosophies and martial arts and with a grand master. So that, and then different cultures between Polish and German and Hungarian and
Hmm.
Czech, all of these in French, all of these were a part that I was introduced to. So I had a formal education of many different cultures and idealisms. And so I was blessed that way. So I did not, like I said, when we started, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes we learn something and this is the way we learned it. So
Yes.
we're just going to hang on like sinking like the Titanic. Okay.
Yeah.
But therefore, just because we've learned it one way, is it really serving us?
Right.
And so I'm not saying something isn't, and I'm not saying something is.
Right. See,
You
now
got it.
I wasn't raised with religion.
Mhm.
My father basically, good morals,
Mhm.
help other people, kindness, blah blah blah. But I wasn't told there was or was not a God. And
Mhm.
when I got married at a very young age, my first wife, her mother, her aunt, and her uncle were all ministers, and I was bombarded with the whole religion aspect, and I started looking. I wanted to believe in God. I wanted there to be a creator for everything that had gone crappy in my life. I wanted there to be an explanation.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be
Mhm.
an explanation. And um, me, I'm someone that reads. I mean, I'm sitting here with a library behind me, and I read. And when I read the book, um, I had questions because it's just like,
Yep.
n-
Yep.
n- how can this be good? How can bashing babies' heads against rocks be good? How can
Yep.
two young girls having sex with their dad be good? How can I had questions? It's just like, no, the morals I've been taught go against
Yep.
what's in this book.
But see, this is
So
where it comes in where we can figure. I mean, come on, look at Jones, right?
right.
Jim Jones. I mean, there are when we understand energy or we're introduced to it and have a glimpse within it, it's very hard to be led astray. And what I mean by that is that when it, like in your life, right, you started asking questions.
Hmm.
Religion has that potentiality of, creating questions. But what comes down to it, and I'm going to speak just for the United States, this is not a political statement in any capacity, okay? But this is where I become very wary because I enjoy studying. I enjoy speaking about it. I enjoy helping people raise their conscious awareness, learning about who they are. And when we have a government in any capacity that comes and says, well, this is what we believe in, and this is what everybody else has to believe in, then therefore we are stepping on. Just because you say it is one way does not mean that it's accurate, healthy, or helpful. And again, this is what a religion does. This is the
Right.
dogma. This is the way we're going to do it. I believe it to be this way, so you have to too.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. And so that's what the danger is with spirituality. It isn't because I can honor you, Paul, in your beliefs, in
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
delivery, and your own study. Like, is there or isn't there a God? What difference does it make? As long as
Right.
you are caring and you're not creating discord and friction and fighting and all of these things in our lives. This is what enslaves us, truly.
Yes. Yes. No, I completely agree. I completely
So
agree.
yeah, I'm sorry, but there can't be
Yeah.
just one religion. And
Oh,
because even
I
if you look at the Bible, even Christ says there are many pathways.
right.
Going
Right.
to, yes.
Exactly, and like I said, I've studied a lot of different belief
Hmm.
systems when it comes to religions, and again, I found a lot of commonalities that I liked, and I found a lot of commonalities that I didn't like.
Right,
And
exactly.
I choose not to believe in these stories, but I do take some of the lessons to heart,
Yeah.
like the golden rule. For me, I live by the golden rule.
Yeah.
We have lots of great questions on this.
Okay.
Instead of me
Yeah, I'm not
asking what I
seeing
was
any
going
of
to
them,
ask
so
you, instead of what I was going to ask you, I'll save those last few questions for a little bit later because some of these questions are really good.
okay.
Let's see. Let's go with this one here, Cornelia
Okay.
Blackmore. While I understand the purpose of needing labels such as atheist, witch, pagan, etc., for the concept of understanding ourselves and others, because our brain cannot comprehend what it cannot label.
Yeah, I
Great
would.
statement.
Yeah, yes, that is a great statement. And again, this is, we're going to come right back to it because we learned something a certain way, right? We form a judgment. We form, okay, if I have to give validation to something, so I am going to say, and I am going to give a label, such as a label, a teacher, a healer, a husband, a wife, a child. We have all these different hats we can put on. We can have all of these different labels because what does it do? It makes us feel comfortable and cozy, and it doesn't upset the apple cart, so to speak. It doesn't
Right.
upset our comfort zone. Well, the one thing is with spirituality, it upsets every comfort zone you have ever had, and
Yes.
it is a journey of a double-edged sword.
Right. And with that statement, Cornelia follows it up. But with that said, do you believe it if it's possible to be spiritual without a label or title? And absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You,
absolutely.
you don't need a title, you don't need a label to describe what it is that you are. And again, I could sit here and argue until I'm blue in the face about atheism and what my belief system is and my spirituality, and people will sit there. But if you're spiritual, you're not an atheist because you believe in something.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
let's break the word down.
Yeah.
Atheism.
Isn't
Atheism
that throwing you into a
means
niche?
I do not believe in a singular entity, but I can believe in ghosts and goblins and
Mm-hmm.
the afterlife and all of this other stuff
Mm-hmm.
because that has nothing to do with a god. That has to do with a different form of energy. And me, I'm an energy person. Just like, a lot of people try to say, well, if you can't see God, then how can you know that there is a God? And for me, I can't see germs and I can't see bacteria.
That's right.
But if I get a staph infection, I'm going to know there's something wrong. I have an electromagnetic energy field that goes around. I can't see it, but it is there and it extends
Yes.
out about 8 feet. So because I can't see it, does that mean it doesn't exist? No, it's there. It's there. So can there be a celestial being that has an intelligence, an ability of consciousness? Absolutely. I don't have to see something to know that it's out there. I can have a belief
Mm-hmm.
that there is something out there. I just don't believe that it's all knowing, all powerful, and the creator of all things. There's too many
And I respect that. I
Yep.
truly do. And it's like this is that part of where it's like many people will just they have to validate something within themselves, and they reach for the outside sources to validate. The Actually, the clue, the hint, the key is to create that own validation, not relying on others to validate your own. And where do you find that? You find that within. And quite honestly, when it's like within all of us is the entire cosmos. I mean, everything from our genetics to um, our intuition to everything. I mean, literally, it comes down to everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
And I mean, is that a broad statement? Is that a bold statement? Oh, heck yeah, it is. Because when we come forward and say, for instance, we talk about indoctrination, we talk about all of these mechanisms. We have been from childhood told this is how you go to school, you get an education, and you get a good job. That's what the majority, the foot soldiers, are told to do. And then you have the others that say, you know, be smart, don't work harder, let your
Yep.
money work for you. I mean, so where are we coming from what position? And these
Right.
are the mechanisms that, you know, my husband in the book, my husband and I in the book, we two hops, we bring this part forward. What position do you care to create from? What position? What is your understanding in something? And so it's like, until we can step forward and start questioning everything. I mean, everything. Question everything I'm saying. Don't,
Right.
I'm not asking anybody to believe a single thing I'm saying. Find out for yourself. Do your own research.
Right.
It's just like you're doing your own research, where your path has led you to this understanding, and my path has led me to this understanding. And guess what?
Exactly.
Somewhere between the two is an accuracy.
Exactly. Now, a very good friend of mine, before I go to a Nyatt here, a very good friend of mine texted me, and he's in here. He's watching the show, and again, for privacy reasons and all that, I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
to mention this person's name.
Okay.
He wrote, "I don't believe in the same God you don't believe in."
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've known a lot of people that are, I find them to be, they might consider themselves religious,
Mm-hmm.
but I see them as spiritual because
Yes.
they truly believe in a good God.
Yeah.
And my friend here, he's the most loving, caring, most humane person, that I know. I mean, I was in some tight situations. He's helped me out. He's been one of my best friends for quite a long time, and I don't put people down for the faith or the religion or the belief
Mm-hmm.
system that they
Right.
have. I may not agree with their
Right.
religion or their belief system,
Right.
but I respect them for what they believe in.
Yes,
And as
exactly.
long as they are good and they're doing good and they're kind and they're loving and they're caring, I don't care what you believe in. But now when you start doing evil things, that's when I'm sorry, that's when there's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I see there's a question up. I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, it's
But
a
when
night.
yeah,
Yep.
when the question is, do you believe indoctrination aligns with spirituality like it does with religion? Um, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, there's specific ways to bring that forward, but indoctrination in and of itself is really like a human thought process. It's a human, um, oh, hang on. It's a human thought process. Sorry, that was my
No, that's all right.
phone. But no, it's like if indoctrination is a way of being taught how to believe, with spirituality there are guidelines, um and like certain let's but it's not anything. I'm so sorry, I don't know
Oh,
how
that's
to
all
get
right.
back to shit.
Can happen
Just
to the
trying to
best
get
of us. It can happen to the best of us.
Yeah. But as far as indoctrination, no, because I think that's where we're indoctrinated into school, we're indoctrinated into religion, we're indoctrinated into a culture, a belief system, we're indoctrinated into many things. But spirituality, in and of itself, when we understand energy, that's an important part,
Mm-hmm.
because energy creates and sets, because it's constantly in balance, it's constantly in the flow and in harmony. We are the only species on the planet that can throw that into total chaos. All animals will abide by the energy of laws in nature, period. They don't violate it. It's not even known to them that they can. So are they indoctrinated? They are born into like being a fox or, being a duck. All right. But with us, we have that part where we can make a choice and say, well, you know what? This isn't working for me. And so therefore, I'm going to create something brand new. I'm going to create a school. I'm going to create a university. I'm going to create a religion. And guess what? What do we get? Many times, many times, you get the Jim Joneses. You get, there's a couple other ones that happened up in New York. We'll leave all that out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, but if you don't understand energy, you can get sucked in very, very easily. And if you don't understand who you are, yeah. So indoctrination, we're indoctrinated into everything. You
Yeah.
know, eat butter, don't eat butter. Eat
right.
eggs, don't eat eggs.
Yes.
What is it?
In relation to Anaya's question, I'm going to go back to Anaya's question. Hello, Zaldor. Thank you for showing. Anything can involve indoctrination. Anything. And if you're someone that is a spiritual person, it's going to be harder to indoctrinate you, because when someone tries to take spirituality and make it into a cult, a religion, or something of that extent, you're going to see a change in the belief system. And when you see that change in the belief system, that's where the indoctrination starts. And you have to be wise enough and confident enough in yourself to not get sucked into it.
It's usually through fear.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
It's a control mechanism that's based on fear. Do this or you go to hell. Do that or you don't do this. And that is really like one of the first, it's like that's the red flag in and of itself.
Yes.
It's like,
yes.
Hello.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. All right. Cornelia had another question, and of course she fixed it down here, but I'm going to do the initial question and all that. We spoke about the word good, Paul, and you mentioned the opposite word to good is righteous. So wouldn't it be safe to say that a good person is a righteous person? Why or why not? And then of course she fixed it, or the opposite word to evil is righteous. My bad. Her and I, when we had a conversation, a lot of people say good and evil, good and evil, good and evil. The opposite of good is not evil. The opposite of good is bad. Okay. The opposite of evil is righteous. Because when you're evil, if you are evil, you have no good intent anywhere in you. Where if you are bad, you still have some good in you somewhere. It's just a matter of digging into it and finding it. So when somebody is righteous, that means they don't have a bad bone in their body. They can't do evil. They can't do harm to another person. There is not a righteous person on this planet, just as I don't believe there is an absolute evil person on this planet.
Now, if I could answer her question in a roundabout way, okay, good, bad, evil, whatever. Evil backwards is live, by the way. I'm just saying, it's my husband always says that, so I had to put that out there. But honestly, if you look at energy is neither good nor bad. It is neither positive or negative until we qualify it. Oh my, what does that mean? We can think about this is what our indoctrination is: evil, fear, run. And so it's like this is what I am saying. When we understand and learn about the interaction of how we live our lives in this world of energy, what does this mean? And again, to me, it's just something I have looked at this all of my life. Good, evil. Hey, I was indoctrinated in the same thing, and I had to start asking questions. Well, they can control us through fear with evil. We're going to do bad things to you, and if you don't do this, we're going to point a gun at your head. Well, okay, go for it. Really? So in order to step away, in order to work, if you're looking at stepping down this path and being a compassionate, loving human being, we can take a look at those two words, okay, and recognize that either one can be a potentiality. It's
Right.
only how you choose to qualify it. So as you qualify it, it therefore then steps in and becomes part of your reality.
Right.
If that is something, and again, it's like, not in my world, this I would not give permission to happen. For instance, again, it's just what would you like to do with it? If that were to happen, and say somebody was going to be, do some horrible deeds because that was the choice that they made based probably out of desperation and fear, like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. Oh my gosh. Are
Yeah.
you really? Really? What can you lose? The only thing you can take with you when you die is love. Your
Yeah.
your own understanding of it. It's like, okay, so what are you losing? Nothing.
Yeah.
So these are this is the logic, this is the philosophy, the stuff that stands behind it, because Cornelia's asking some really, really great questions. It's
Yes.
just, I really don't utilize those terms such as good or evil. It's positive and negative or neutral. I like to be in a neutral position, because then therefore I do not have a whole emotional component invested on one side or the other, where I can stand, like Bryce says, within that stoic aspect where
Yes.
I'm managing my emotions. My emotions are not managing me.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to kind of combo both of these questions
Yep.
up that we had from Anaya and Cornelia and all that. So the indoctrination along with good, bad, evil, righteousness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Take a step back a second and let's go to one of the basic things that we have in this country, education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you look at the classroom itself, it's set up and organized in an authoritarian manner to where you have a teacher and all the kids are in a desk or lined up in a pew, depending upon how far back you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the indoctrination involved here is everyone is set up to fit into the world for a particular job, which brings
Yep.
me to the logical song.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you haven't heard the logical song, look it up and listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because um, what we're looking at is a setup, an indoctrination for people that are going to be modified to a system to where they work in the industrial complex of industry. Specifically, back then, it was industry, manufacturing, uh, steel factories, factory work, stuff like that. So you had to learn how to take orders. If you wanted to talk, you had to raise your hand. If you wanted to go to the bathroom, you had to ask permission. You're given these assignments. You have to fulfill them within this time period. Blah blah blah. It's preparing you to be a worker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and that system is an evil system now. Now, are the people that are still doing it evil? No, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
The system itself is a system of evil. And it's something that needs to be fixed. It needs to be corrected. It needs to
It's
be
just
changed.
old energy. It's
Yeah,
very old, stale energy that truly
exactly.
is not serving us in the highest and the best interest.
Exactly. So we need to make these changes. And I kind of break into this when you start going into the systemic discrimination that we have in this country. We have a
Yes.
lot of systems
Yeah.
implemented that are harmful to people of color, harmful to women, harmful to people of religion, without religion,
Yeah.
harmful to people based on their country of origin.
Yeah.
We have a lot of systems, poverty.
It's based on fear. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of these systems are evil systems. It's just a matter of taking the time to explain the evilness of the system and change it for something that's better.
Yeah.
Now, there are people that want to implement systems of evil, like we just had the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Okay. The people did an evil act. It doesn't make the people evil. You see what I'm
No,
saying?
it just what it is just a control mechanism. This is the way I believe, so you have to believe
Right.
also.
Which
It's a mandate, and a mandate is a man that is being dated. And
Yep.
this is again, this is
Indoctrination.
very old, stale energy. If we were looking at and going forward, like like bringing something within our schools, there's a couple of things that I could bring to light, such as whether it's done in the home through the parents or the teachers. If we, as humanity, as adults, parents, grandparents, and teachers, were to help our children understand and trust their own intuition, oh my, that would make a major change across the board immediately. This is what is not. Actually, the religions and the indoctrinations between cultures and everything else,
Yes.
children are actually, they're put aside from it. Like, no, they can't. We don't believe in that, or this can't be, or we're afraid of that. Again, these are control mechanisms, and when we step forward and understand it, because you were speaking about evil, these are evil doings or so on and so forth, and I still will remain steadfast within this my idea, okay, my own structural belief system, only based on years of trying to figure this out. Okay, I don't have all the answers. I don't think anybody really does.
Nope, no one does.
But to me, I will remain steadfast, and it is just a very low vibrational energy. It's slow, it's concrete. It's like, ooh, it's like you get the wiggies from it, because it's just very low vibrational energy. And these people are welcome to believe it, as long as it's not being forced upon the mass populace.
That's right.
That's where I really draw the line. You're welcome to believe it. If you don't believe in abortion, okay, then don't have one.
Right. Exactly.
But because your belief of what you think, because I'm going to say something, and I really think this should go up, because everybody, as far as, not everybody, okay, some people, it's like, when does life begin? Is it the heartbeat? Is it consumption? Is it the wine, the wine you drank beforehand? Okay. The major question that has not been asked yet, I mean, publicly, like in the mainstream or anywhere else, here's the question: when does the soul enter the physical body? Because without spirit, without energy of life, guess there is no life. Without breath, there is no life. Oh my. So when would this happen? Actually, to tell you the truth, it would be upon sound. It doesn't mean that the spirit or the soul is not around. That's not what I'm saying. Listen to the words that I'm choosing, and I'm choosing these words very, very concisely. I have not said any of that, but we all get triggered, and because of something that we have already learned or already heard or already integrated into ourselves, we shut everything else out, because it's not vibing, it's not registering with what we're saying. But the major question is, and this is what has not been brought forward, is when does the soul enter the physical body? And if you go to the sciences, science, oh my God.
Believe it or not, there was actually a study done. I think it was, I can't remember, but I think it was Oxford. And I think it's like 23 grams. And when the body dies, it loses 23 grams. It doesn't matter how old, how young, how big, how small you are. It's the exact same weight. And there was a follow-up study. I'm going to have to find that and post that. But a pregnant woman, when having the baby and the baby comes out, it's born, there's no increase in weight. not until they cut the umbilical cord. And then suddenly 23 grams appear.
It
So,
is upon sound. Really.
so,
It
so
really is.
technically, if you go by that theory, the cutting of the umbilical cord is where the soul enters the body. So, again, it's a theory. It can't be proven or disproved, but
Exactly. And the thing is, though, but if we do look at how energy works, okay, if we have a glimpse into it, we have what, it's basically, um, it is sound is first, right? It is upon sound that the light enters the physical body of matter. So we have sound, light, matter. Now apply that to our soul, our energy, our light, okay? Ooh, upon sound. I mean, science has proved that, right? Sound, light, matter, 1, 2, 3. It's like, so again, this is where we have, and it's like, am I correct? Well, I kind of think I am, only because I, kind of spaced it out over a lifetime and tried to check certain things out. And this kind of resonates more true with checks and balances from many other cosmic, universal, and spiritual laws.
yeah,
Um, but again, everyone is free to believe what they like to believe. I'm not forcing this, my belief or my understanding, on anyone, but I am putting out a seed there to think about it.
yes,
Because if so, would that not reduce the friction in our lives right now? If
yep,
that were so, could that reduce what has been coming forward and what humans, have been forcing down the windpipes of everybody else?
yep, yep,
So, it's just something to consider.
yep,
Um, again, creator, okay, gave infants, these children, a voice. That's why they cry, right? They
yep,
have a voice. And it's upon the birth. That's why it's so magical. Like if you're in a delivery room, like it's like the energy in that room is so
yes.
charged. Why
Saw
is
both
that
of my
so?
babies born.
Why is the energy in that room so
Yes,
charged?
yes. I saw
Because the
both my
spirit
babies
is coming
born.
in.
I saw
Yeah,
both
the
my
spirit.
babies born. Yes.
The spirit
Now,
is coming in.
we are running short on time here, so
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the
Okay.
questions that I had for you.
Yeah.
The law of I am.
Mm, mm. Okay. Well, that would really be coming down to the law of one, but actually, I am, those two words are actually the most powerful two words in the entire cosmos. Anything, when we're speaking, we're talking in our everyday lives, and we say, I am happy, I am sad, um, I am excited, I am healthy, I'm an alcoholic, I'm whatever follows, I am creates that divinity. And again, if I'm sad, if I'm angry, if I'm upset, if I'm unwell, guess what? That's still divinity. It's just that I've chosen a lower frequency. I've chosen the evil, okay? That evil side, the lower section of energy. Um, it's denser, it's slower in movement. Okay, so it's still divinity, it's just how we're qualifying it. So anytime we say I am, whatever follows, be aware it will create that divinity to continue its motion moving forward.
Yeah.
Ah, and so in that essence, when you say, like, I am healed, I am complete.
Yes.
Ooh, think about how the implications of what that could mean in our own
Yep.
lives. If
Yep.
you are complete, then what is it you could possibly really require? Hmm?
Yep.
That's a choice.
Yes. Yes.
Is it an emotional, right? Do you
Mm-hmm.
require somebody to love you? Do you require, somebody to feed you and hand, when if it's something that we can recognize and bring and integrate into our own selves. Again, this is a premise, this is an idea, it's a planting a seed out there. If people could play with it and see how it feels for them, what would happen in your life if you really felt complete?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And with that said, Ed, I am the most handsome man on Twitter.
I am complete.
I am complete.
And yes, you are
Anyways,
very handsome, and I love that. I love that shirt.
thank you. Thank you. I have one more question. One
Okay.
more. The word fighting, fight. You and I have had some conversations about this word. Explain to me your theory and the usage of this word and what should be used instead.
Okay. Fight in and of itself creates a resonance. Okay. A resonance here on this earth plane and a resonance in the etheric. That's every single word we've ever said. I am. Okay. Um, Fight means a continuation. Where is there a solution in fight? Okay, I'm gonna fight for my family. I'm gonna fight. Why? Can you stand with your family? Can you be supportive of your family? Absolutely. It's what words are we really choosing as powerful mechanisms that reduce friction? Fight in and of itself is nothing but friction, right? So, like, fight cancer. Why? Why should we fight cancer? Heal it, eradicate it. I am healed. I am well. Oh, um, to me, when these major corporations donate, please donate to me. Donate to this, and so we can fight cancer. No, heal it, eradicate it, fix it, be the solution. It's the same thing when we're looking at election of voting for. This is one of my major kind of pet peeves. It's like they are on both all the aisles across the board. Vote for me and I'll fight for you. Oh, please don't. Be the solution. Why spend so much energy? Paul, you and I, we're in a meeting right here, right now. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fight. You're going to fight. We're on opposing sides. Is anything going to really get done? Is
Nope.
there a trust factor of compassion that comes forward when I'm saying, well, I'm going to fight? Well, no, I can be the solution. I can definitely come forward in a healing mechanism. Think about two people being in the boardroom, right? Two opposing sides, how much do you think really is going to get done? So for elected officials to come in and say, vote for me, I'll fight for you, I'm done. I tune them out because I'm not going to vote for you in order for you to continue to fight in Congress. Because look what's happening with Congress. Look what we have created in our streets right now. Fight, 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 fight. What do we got? Guns in the streets. We're shooting at each other. We can't even have a civil conversation because you don't believe the same way I do. Oh! So now we got to fight? Really? Where's the solution? Okay.
Exactly.
Where is, vote for me and please join our cause. Let's heal, cancer. Let's heal whatever illness could possibly be. So the words is really in the dictionary. Can I just ask a question here? In the dictionary, that is the only word, the only creative word we can come up with. I remember that word in a political system coming out in about early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And what have we learned? And we're still using it. Don't you think that old energy, male dominated, controlling,
Yeah.
you know, isn't it time we can look at something just a little bit different? It's just shifting the perception thereof. Nobody's saying, like not to stand up and protect your family. That's not what we're saying. But we've been indoctrinated. We've been
Right.
ingrained in what this word means. And it is so negative and low vibration that creates just that. There's no
Yeah.
solution with it. It's just more of the
Yes.
same.
Exactly. And when I heard you in a space talk about that, it really resonated with me because
Hmm.
when I wrote this,
Uh-huh.
my objective wasn't to fight for people's
Right.
rights. Okay. My objective was to end poverty.
Yes.
My objective is to end homelessness. My objective is to abolish systemic discrimination. That's my objective. I don't use the word fight.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And I alone can't do it. I need
Yep.
people to help join in with me. But the bottom line is that I'm going to abolish systemic discrimination.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I have solutions. And that's the beautiful thing about part of your book that you sent me to read
Yeah.
is that you also have solutions.
And
And,
this is it.
and
Paul, don't we both we create, we stimulate, we
mhm,
antagonize a little bit just for somebody quite possibly to think a different way. I mean,
yes.
one of my sayings is like our perception is our only limitation.
Right. Well, and this is like where Bryce and I get along. And hello,
Mhm.
Bryce. Thank you for popping in here. Great
Hi,
comment.
Bryce.
Thank you, Bryce. Love you, brother.
Huh?
Um, Bryce and I, we don't always agree on how to get to the end point,
Right.
but we have an end point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing and all that. We're not fighting to get there. We're
Yep.
working together to solve the problem. I might come at it from this way, you might come at it from
Yes.
that way, but we're going
Yep.
forward to get the same thing done.
Yep.
And that's where, like you and I, our belief systems and spirituality, they differ a little bit.
Yeah.
And yet, we have both written a book
Yes.
addressing the same issues,
Mm-hmm.
trying to put the solutions out there
Yep.
and working to get there. And
Mm-hmm.
in no way do we talk about fighting, we talk about working
Yes.
because working implies doing something. Where fighting, as
Yes.
Cornelia said,
Mm-hmm.
the word fight subconsciously translates energetically that suffering never ends,
Yes.
that peace can never be attained.
Yep.
Appreciate you and allowing me to share my thoughts.
Uh,
Always, Cornelia, always
yes,
love you here.
always, always. And that's, really in a nutshell when it comes down to it, because if we can find solutions, and again, even Bryce, it's like that, that stepping forward and not necessarily allowing all these emotional components to a belief system or structure can actually like create that harm, stop us. We can be those who seek to govern others truly cannot govern themselves. They've always got to look in somebody else's backyard and pick. It's like they're picking out weeds and they're not weeds.
Yeah.
Because they think they know better. Again, like Paul. Thank you for this opportunity. This has been, great to be able to do this because I think it's time now that some of these things can be addressed. They may not be comfortable. They may not be comfortable for me to bring something forward or even for you, but there are solutions because we see an end point and we do
Yeah.
not have to be controlled through an emotional belief system of fear and power and domain.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And Cornelia, oh, I love her comments. I appreciate all of you and gracing us with your divine presence. We love
Oh.
you. I wouldn't go as far as divine, but thank you anyways. I appreciate that.
We're just in
And
the moment.
yes, just in the moment. And with that said, Shadowfox, it's been a great time here. Just to let everybody know, Shadowfox and I will be here every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern for the flow. And before I close it out,
Yeah. Hey,
um,
if anybody, Paul, if anybody has any things that they would like more information on, if there's specific topics or something like that, please submit them to us.
yes, yes. And you can reach Shadowfox. I've given you her Twitter and her Facebook.
Sprinkling
Um,
it.
DM us on Twitter. Let's see. There's Shadowfox. Here's mine, my @ for Twitter and TikTok. Feel free to DM us. And like I said, this has been a great show. Shadowfox will be hosting this show. It's called The Flow. The reason why it's called The Flow is it's about energy, the flow of energy. And with that said,
thank you, everyone, for your consideration. It's
everyone, yes,
everyone, yes,
everyone, be kind, be happy, and may good things come your way. This has been In the Moment with Paul Sisler and Shadowfox. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.